What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys are feeling good. It's Wednesday. I don't know. I don't feel like a Wednesday to me. I'm not sure. I'm not. It kind of feels like a Monday. I don't know why. I just got extra time on my week. I guess. Not really. Not really sure why. But market looks like it's jumping a little bit. Although I don't know quite where my all the lines on my chart went. That's kind of strange. How far back am I? Huh. Let me just refresh this. I'm like, I don't see the market must be closed. Maybe I think it's a Sunday. I don't know. Let me throw this back on a SPY. Throw it on the daily. Do we have lines again? There we go. Yeah, we're just gapping up so high that there was no lines. And that's what I had to do. I had to scroll down. That's crazy. That's crazy. Nice little gap today. What's crazier is we got all my people in the house. Good morning. We got Al. Good morning to Albert. Andrew. We got Andrew Utah in the house. Good morning to Bell, Bill, Brian, George, Jay, Linder. Good morning. We got Joe, JT, Kevin, Stones, rocking with us. Good morning to Lauren, Martina. Good morning, Paul, Randy. We got Rick. We got Rock Fullwood. Good morning to all my peeps out of YouTube land. We got Danielle saying Tilla la 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 la. Good morning to Craig. We got Nathan in the house. All my lurkers in the backgrounds. Good morning to all you guys as well. And this is wow, this is crazy. I just saw YouTube is doing like that thing where it just like it translates what I'm saying. I don't know if because my English is horrible and they just have to put on the little text at the bottom. That's kind of wild. I didn't know that was a setting. All right, that's kind of cool. But yeah, we do have the SPY gapping up, so Netflix didn't crush the markets by any stretch of the imagination. Helped to carry the narrative that everything tech, the Magnificent Seven, everything looks good. But we got a big one tonight. We got Tesla, which has been weak. It's actually at open been strong pretty much every single day for the last week and a half, maybe something like that, and then it just ends up crushing lower. And Tesla's the only one, probably not the only one, but one of the at least the big ones that has not really been holding up and has extreme weakness throughout the day. At some interesting levels on Tesla, but we're going to see if Tesla is able to save the market or if Elon Musk comes out as a wild card and ends up crushing things. This is a retest gap from yesterday. So yesterday we obviously went bullish on SPY. Kind of an interesting gap that we have. So yesterday was all really inside of this day. This day I wouldn't really even consider this one, even though it's a red candle, really a sell-off, because that's still open and closed above that next day. So it's almost like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bullish days in a row. And we are gapping up. So I'd have to look into a fade on this one, see if we get some kind of a pullback at open, some kind of profit taking, especially with Tesla on the verge of who in the world knows what they're going to do. And we got Q, same thing, pretty much identical chart. Again, we have strength in, we do have a lot of strength in tech. So this has been the buy the dip on tech, like something like 3M yesterday. That's not really AI related. They didn't really see the buy the dip a little bit toward the end of the day. I think that was about it. But Q's same thing. I'd probably want to play this more as if it was a retest. Again, I don't know. It's kind of a weird setup where it's that's a retest, and then we stayed inside, and now we're gapping up again. And I think we got to play this momentum that there is obviously people profitable as we just keep on gapping every single day to new all-time highs, which is wild. TLT, if we get any clues in here, this one's also gapping up, so that's going to help the market a little bit. I see a little bit of resistance, probably around 94.56. You guys notice I didn't even give like support resistance on Qs and SPY because I don't have any. It just we're in a we're in a land of our own right now. But we got TLT that is Got a little bit of resistance ahead of us. Pretty nice, almost little mini double bottom here as well. And again, we are into a decent pullback zone. I think I had a little bit further potentially if this thing wants to break down. I think the 618 is somewhere around 92, 91. But otherwise, for right now, it's holding. We are gapping above at least one moving average. I got three more ahead of me with mainly this key level. The first one, 94.59, and then we got 94.73. But we are gapping up a little bit. And we'll see if we can maintain this rally again. I think that's going to help sustain the market a little bit. And let's take a look at what everybody was looking at yesterday after the market. I guess we'll delete some of those lines. That target, we should have just kept all positions open on any Netflix, anything yesterday, and we would have just been sitting on a yacht today, just sipping some Bahama Mamas. But 541, their subscription was good. They actually had an increase in subscription. The one interesting thing about Netflix is they did take, I think it was like 3-4 quarters ago, they tried to take the focus off subscription. They were trying to go into a little bit more cost cutting, cost management, and then they were more saying we're going to focus more on revenue per user as opposed to subscriptions. But and it kind of worked for a little bit because we did have subscriptions kind of decline for the first couple times. They actually did increase, so we had higher subscription. But I think in this report we still have earnings per share, a slight little miss there. But on the revenue side of things, we did beat by 109. So that's a pretty good beat on revenue. And if that's what the company is focused on, then okay, well, that was pretty successful in that range. The ad revenue, I think, was the big one for them. So I think that's what the market liked the most. They were supposed to come in with like I think it was like 7.8 million on the ad portion. They came in with about 13. So not too bad in terms of the ad revenue portion of the business. And you're probably going to see every other streaming service, if they're not already doing it, you're already seeing Prime start to, I think, roll out some versions of throw in some ads. And essentially we have TV online. We don't have a cable guy coming to the house. Sorry for cable guys, but I think TV is starting to rotate and probably continues to pick up in the streaming direction. And your probably streaming experience is going to be the same exact thing as if you just watched TV in the first place. Yeah, full cycle. Full cycle. And except now, instead of you paying for like your cable package, you just have to subscribe to every single channel you don't want to watch. And I would not be surprised. Not this year or next year, I don't know. But sometime in the future, if you just don't have streaming packages, where all these guys end up just start bundling together, trying to compete with each other, and you could pay one price and now get 3 or 4 different streaming, so and then essentially you just have TV again. Complete full cycle. But nice little gap up here. Let's see if we have any type of levels. Not a whole heck of a lot of volume up here. Let's go to the weekly. We're pretty much above. I think once we start really breaking 556, there's really nothing in the way till 593-ish. So there's definitely some room, and that's a small little move, and still I think off to the races. Quite the gap here. Obviously, all of this volume. So even if we sell off, I think there's going to be some buy the dippers. Maybe if we get back down to like 505, I don't know if that happens today. That would be a wild give back on all of the gains made overnight. But we do have a little bit of maybe resistance somewhere around this 554 zone, 555, and probably kind of maintains. I think there's going to be some probably profit taking. Obviously, we've had quite the run all the way from, I think we were at 169, something like that, 162. And straight shot right back into the territories where right before the collapse started to happen. So it's going to be an interesting day on Netflix. If we could see a day trade set up where we get some kind of double bottom, I'd still rather buy the dips and try to fade this move for me personally. And especially from what I'm seeing in the tech world of anything, every time we get any type of dip, it's been good for the bullish run. I think that continues out today as well. So we'll see. We'll see how this one wants to play out. But obviously, it's a really really nice gap up. Almost $50 and almost 60 if you're counting where the lows of yesterday were. If anybody was trying to just buy the lows and ride this earnings report up, so pretty decent in that zone. But let's see if we get any kind of shakeout first, any type of profit, and Netflix will be on the list for most of today. We got INTC. Santilla says last Friday was a field day in the SPY, made a 5K. All right. Strong day. Yeah. Markets usually just continue higher. So that Warren Buffett theory so far playing out. And there's been I think there's been some shifts where people are like starting to weirdly start to believe Warren Buffett a little bit. They've seen now the market just dip like crazy through COVID, through housing crisis, through everything, and continuously get new highs. I think that calms down some of the shorts a little bit. We got INTC, so there's a nice little gap up. Yeah, I almost want to play this as a gap and go as opposed to a retest. Maybe INTC I think would be a nice one for that red high wave setup. We do have a lot of room on this one. So targets on this takes me to about $50.25. So we could make maybe about $1, especially if we get some kind of a pullback. But we have a mini retest here, so I'm looking for some kind of maybe just slight little pullback. I think that would be fantastic. Otherwise, my support level is 48.45. Not sure if we're going to come into that zone. And we do have a little element of, I think this is the candle that plays. I think we're also above this one, which we got some volume on as well. And yeah, I think any pullback is probably buyable on INTC at the moment. Good range. We probably have to have like a 30-cent setup. 35 cent setup to really make the numbers work. Obviously maybe we end up blowing right past this. Who knows? But I can't assume it. Let's see when the earnings come out. The 25th, so tomorrow. And is that before or after the market? After the bell tomorrow. Okay. So we do have earnings, so just be careful on swing trades just in case. Or at least know that the earnings are tomorrow before setting up anything that you are planning on holding past 2 days, really. But well, we'll throw INTC up there. You did Snow report earnings? Because Unity Software might be a sympathy. No. Oh, did they come out with a revision? Snowflake predicts 30% annual growth until 2029. Dang. Dang, that's a lot. A 30% annual growth rate. That's actually wild. That's actually wild. Unity Software is at a little resistance now. If we start to break out higher, the next stop is about 215. I'm going to throw Snow on the list. Again, I would love to see a little pullback on this one. This is a retest gap, so I don't know if I want to be the first one to buy it, but I have to see kind of how we're hanging out around this range right here because there's no. If we start to break, I think 210.31 ish, somewhere in that zone, 210.50, let's call it. There's nothing really stopping this one till about 215. And obviously we could probably go a little bit higher, even 218. But 30% year over year is wild. That is a wild growth rate. 3 strong days in a row. Obviously, we're looking at this thing on a weekly. We're still in a nice little breakout, and probably see if we get this retest. I do like Snowflake long term. I didn't really quite understand the big sell off that they were having. That is wild. Unity software. So the reason I pulled up Snow, and I think somebody in YouTube also wants to take a look at Snow as well, but Unity might be a sympathy play to Snowflake. For today, in terms of the range, it's a nice little gap there too. Unity software might be one that I would be a little bit more aggressive out of the gate as a sympathy play over Snow. Snow, I think I would want to drop a little bit further, retest a little bit, but this is good consolidation. Probably targets on this one might get us into about $36. So again, we have about $1 to the upside. So the range on Unity on Snowflake is a little bit better, but I kind of like the setup here. At least for out of the gate, better on Unity software. But both look good, and again, I mean we did break. We did break. We're right at this little bit of a downtrend as well. Let's see where this is. I think we might be right at it. Okay. Give me like a little, well, I guess a little bit of pullback here too. Mini red candle. Or we could look at pre-market breaks on this one too. But again, the range on Snowflake I think is a little bit better. Obviously, I mean, who knows where these things could stop? That would just be my next level if it starts to break that. I have another big one, 36.26 after that, and then we start looking into maybe even 37.18 today if it really wants to pick up and get wild. But not bad, not bad at all. I think we even had almost. I have a bullish entry and a stop. I'm not sure where that came from. I forget what day I did that one, but that would have got us right into the zone. And this is probably right around the 50% retracement, maybe. I kind of like it. Kind of like it. All right. Rock says it's already happening with the streaming. Well, I think the cable companies are trying to jump in, like, or even cell phone companies. If you have any cell phone service ever, Amazon's a nice gap too. Yeah, if you have a cell phone service, most of them are partnered now with some kind of streaming. It's like, please buy my product. What do you like? Do you like Netflix? You want to watch the new Wednesday show when it comes out? Okay, it's free. Just pay my pricing on my phone. That's a really nice app. Yep. Technically that was a retest. Amazon, another little high wave out of the gate would be a tremendous looking play. I don't really have anything stopping this thing to about 160. Amazon's got Amazon Prime, so even in that sense, we could get a little sympathy from just some of the streaming. That might be decent. See KMB. Let me go to this Roku first because that would be another sympathy to Netflix. Netflix. I mean Roku. I'm Roku. I'd want a deeper pullback. I think. So this one's a little bit closer to the resistance, and we've already had 3 days in a row of bullishness. I would want to see this thing pull back a little bit further. Watch it, I guess. And even if this starts to break, maybe like 95.33, so it gives us about under $2 of range. But to the downside, I'm looking at about $90, so it's about $3 to the downside. I think I'd rather focus on the other ones. Not saying this one can't open up and just go absolutely crazy. It's Roku. It does wild things. 96.37 is going to be where some of these bears want to hold this thing. If they start to lose that, then I think you have your trade. I think that one you got about 96 to 102, so you got about $5-6 range. Yep. And let's look at one more sympathy, which people probably not even thinking about, which is Google. Not only do they got the search, the number one search platform, but then the second is YouTube. And then they have the YouTube subscriptions. They got YouTube TV. They got they're definitely in the streaming game, just not in the same sense that some people might be thinking immediately, like the Netflix, the Primes, the Disney Pluses. But you do have Google. That one looks good to me. I'm actually going to put this one up much higher on the list as well. And let's go with one more. Since we just mentioned it, let's see what Disney is doing today, if that's getting any love whatsoever. Uh, I put this one in the same camp as Roku at this point. So I probably want to stay with either Google or Amazon in terms of sympathy plays to Netflix, just because this is still in a tighter range. That's all. All right. We have KMB doing something a little different. Kimberly, you can't stream anything on Kimberly Clark. They need to figure it out. But yep, they missed to the downside earnings per share. They missed about 18 mil in revenue. And definitely looks weak. I'm concerned about some of the support down here. So really, I mean, we even had a gap and go yesterday, so we're trapping some initial bears there. This might be an initial sell-off. I think because we were trapping some people, the ranges get a little tough for me. My targets would probably be about 119.25. We could easily break through that, and if we do, then 117. I think I would only play this one to the downside if I think we could hit that 117. If I'm not so sure that we're going to break some of those other previous supports, then I don't think I get that risk reward. Um, I I like the fact that it's here, but I like the fact that this candle is so bullish. Really nice gap and go. We're definitely trapping some people here, and I think out of the gate you might get a quick short on this one. The question is to where. Trend is definitely getting beat up. I've never run numbers on this company, so I don't even know Kimberly Clark if we're starting to get to a good pricing point or not, where maybe some like long term investors might be interested. But for right now, I think this one probably has a little bit more future downside ahead of it. We got Airbnb. We got Chewy on the list today. Craig wants to take a look at Chewy. Chewy. Let's see. We got Airbnb. I'm gonna have to throw this one. We got a lot to look at. We got not quite, but we almost got tweezer tops up there. So we're still inside day from again, I keep thinking today's Monday, but from Tuesday. So we're still inside day of there. But a good gap, good range. I also see one little resistance right here. So I think if we could break this 143.91, that's going to be our trade. That would take us to about 146.50, 146.49, something like that. But yeah, we got to put that up higher. Let's take a look at Chewy, CHWY. Keep in mind the entire market is a retest gap as well. That changes things a little. We got Chewy. Chewy, we still got a couple moving averages right here. We also have a decent, I would say, a decent little resistance, somewhere around $20.63. It is a gap and go just on the fact that we're higher, we're opening up higher, gapping up higher than we closed. But yeah, I think some of the other ones will deliver slightly better profit. I think Chewy has a decent short float on it, so maybe that comes into play today. But we have a pretty significant resistance in this $20.60 to $20.70 range. So I'd be a little concerned with that and see if we get some kind of pullback. Worst case, if you want to try it, I think this one fades and maybe look closer to about like a $20, 2006 entry. Yeah, I don't know if you have to chase it right out of the gate on Chewy. I got PayPal. Santella took her 5K and bought some Bitcoin. Going all digital. Right before the halving comes in. Uh, I think PayPal, we could continue to look for continuation bullish. So nothing crazy in terms of gap. This is from yesterday's candle. This would be a little bit of a retest gap. I do love the fact that we're getting above and we're gapping up above 65.92. That's where I would put support. Be careful. You're still in Tuesday's candle. So that was a deep sell-off, but really, was it after 3 big days in a row? Not really. We're just kind of hanging out. So again, is PayPal going to go crazy? I would love for it to go crazy. I got some positions. I do want to stay more bullish than bearish on PayPal at this point. We do have a gap up here that I think probably most people are eyeing down, somewhere in the 73.37 range. So it's got some room on it for sure. I could see it being a decent day trade as well. So I'll watch it. I'll look for it. How maybe a pre-market break on this one would be a decent opportunity. Probably immediate range where people are going to, for today at least, look to take some kind of gains is about $68. So that gives us about $1.75 to the way up. And I do also think, especially if the market wants to remain bullish, that this $68 could even break today as well. I wouldn't be shocked. Definitely want to keep on the list. AMD. AMD. Nothing else to say, but still bullish. That's about it. I wouldn't. I don't know if I would look for this breakout today or maybe today, but not at open at least. At open, I'd probably just be seeing if we get some kind of fade back into this 168.74. I think at least for today, I mean, AI has been the story for a while, but I think today it shifts a little bit, or I don't know how much we shift like longer term, but for today, I think a lot of the focus is going to be more on streaming. That's going to lay off on AI a little bit. We are still inside of this little reversal to see if we get that pullback. I wouldn't mind looking for a day trade on it if we do pull back to this 168.74. I'm not really excited to fade it either, so I don't know if I want to play it to the downside. There is a little bit of room if we could get to that support, but I think we probably chop around here for another day or so, and then as soon as the streaming thing ends, we got Tesla tonight, so all the focus is going to be on Tesla, everything EV tomorrow, and yeah, we'll go from there. But I think we're a little congested up here. I still like it bullish, but I would love to see a little pullback first. Which one am I missing? Got PayPal, TME. This is going to be a continuation from probably Baba and the Asian stock stories. That looks like a really nice gap though. It's $9. We could trade it. I would look for targets on this one to about 936. Do I have time to pull up FinViz real quick? TME. But yeah, if this one's moving, just check out Baba. That's probably the leader of the gaps. Let me see though. Float 2%, so not too much on the short float. And let me just check out Baba real quick for you. Baba with a nice little gap up too. So probably most JD, Baidu as well is probably moving. You probably have a little bit better ranges in some of the other, just because it's more money. So able to make some moves, but looks good for that breakout. That was the morning bell though. So everybody out in YouTube land, I appreciate you joining me each and every day. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe.